What's going on? This is the Sports Counterpoints podcast. Today is October the 21st, 2024. I'm GB. That's Brian and Coop with me as always. What's up, guys?
What's up?
You know,
A little earlier in our week.
Yeah, I kind of like the Monday night night
Monday's
show.
not bad. Yeah, ain't bad.
It's all right. I mean, football's a little
Until we
fresher.
start making picks that get blown up on Thursday injury reports. But yeah, okay.
Yeah, that's
good.
cool. I like the my hatred for the division in NFL is a lot higher the closer it is. By Tuesday, I've mellowed out. Right now,
That's hella funny.
I'm salty, so it probably makes for a better show. But we're talking World Series because we're at that time. You got New York versus LA. You know, the East Coast, West Coast beef is back. You got NC2A football, so they'll talk about that, the college games, and then, of course, the NFL, where, like we were just talking about before the show, all our teams lost. First time that's happened in a while. Not like the Raiders was helping that, but this first time y'all teams lost also. So let's do it, man. World Series. You got right in your backyard, B. The Dodgers are playing the New York Yankees, man. I don't know if MLB could be any happier about this matchup.
Right. Go ahead, B.
Yeah.
What y'all think?
We've also got some fancy alumni, right? So, Giancarlo Stanton, I don't know if those you know, grew up in Panorama City,
Right.
went to Notre Dame High School. A friend of ours, Alvin, is affiliated with the school still. I'm loosely, and so it'll be interesting. I wonder if you'll be recruiting dollars to the school or and supporting the Yankees, or going with the Dodgers because that's the home team. But it will be a great series. I mean, this Mookie Betts was asked after they had finished the series with the Mets what he thought about this upcoming series, and he said pretty much anybody who knows baseball wants this to be the World Series.
Mm-hmm.
Baseball is drooling. The television stations are drooling. This should be an outstanding series, and I don't know if we're going as far as making picks, but I'm really looking forward to watching this series. And I don't know that I've been interested in watching a full baseball series in a while. I have watched. I can say that I have seen the lion's share of every Dodgers playoff game this postseason.
Yeah, the last World Series I was actually really interested in seeing might be it was when Arizona Diamondbacks played the Yankees. This was years ago when Kurt Schilling and Randy Johnson.
What you're talking about.
When they won. Yeah.
Randy
Johnson.
Kurt Schilling
and Randy Johnson. Yeah.
And Randy Johnson.
Yeah, and they got to Mariano Rivera, I think, in Game 6 and ended up winning. So I'm very interested in watching. I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna watch at least half of each of these games of the World Series. I'm really interested in seeing these two teams play. As a person who's a lifelong person who just hates the Yankees, my bad dread, I can't root for the Yankees. It's just not going to happen. So I'll be rooting for the Dodgers, and the Dodgers lose. Okay, they win. That's cool too. I'm not a big Dodger fan. I just can't root for the Yankees. So that's my pick on this series, purely on hatred. No stats, no analytics, nothing.
Yeah.
I got nothing for you.
Going into the playoffs, the question mark about the Dodgers was their bullpen, which has been outstanding this entire playoffs. Pitching, they've had a lot of injuries, or still have a lot of injuries. Freddie Freeman, who's one of the best players on their team, is out with an ankle right now, and hopefully to get back either in the first game or soon. And so, I actually think that there's a lot of reasons to go against the Dodgers, except for one. They've shown up. And they know how to win these games. Ohtani is a man on a mission. When every time that guy gets to the plate and someone throws a ball anywhere near him, there's a good chance it's going out. He's just that good. His batting average with runners in scoring position is something like 420, which is better than most people's lifetime batting averages, and is almost automatic. So I actually do think the Dodgers are going to find a way to win this series. I would expect it to go about 6.
Yeah.
Nice.
This is why Ohtani came to the Dodgers, right? These prime time.
This is exactly
these
why he came to the Dodgers. I mean, he came to the Dodgers because they had an unlimited budget and
money.
A Brinks truck.
Yeah, that's number one. But
a lifetime Brinks
type
truck.
Of games.
Yeah. But he knew that they would do whatever they could to surround him with the talent that would be there. Not to mention they already had it. Freddie Freeman was already there.
That's what I was going to say.
was already there.
Mookie was
Betts
there.
was already
They had
there.
squad. Yeah. Aren't they? What are they? 2 years out of a World Series win?
No, they've been to 2 of the last 5. The last time they won it was 5 years ago, 5 seasons ago.
It was 5. Damn, already?
Every one of the other ones, they've made it to the playoffs and either gone out early or.
Remember the cheaters? Remember the cheaters were winning? Remember the cheaters were winning?
The Lakers.
Houston?
Yeah. Damn, it's been 5 years already. That's crazy. But it was right around when the Lakers won, so that's right.
Yeah, but anyways, I'm rooting for him. I wish Kershaw. I wish all their pitchers were healthy. I mean, they have had nothing but troubles in the pitching department all season long. It's not a lack of talent. They've got plenty of it. It's just a lack of being able to keep them upright.
Yeah, if you're gambling on any of these games, when Flaherty pitches for the Dodgers, go against him. Flaherty. That's his last name. That dude sucks. Other than that, all the other pitchers were okay. Yeah, but when that guy,
I believe he won his last game.
He did win his last game. It was like 10-6 or 12-6, something like that. Yeah, he did. He did. But I'm still going against him. But yeah, it's all good. That's the only game I'm going against the Dodgers.
Imperialist won picks. Got you. Yeah. Okay. Word up. So, all right. You guys got anything else baseball wise?
Nah, we're good.
All right. So we'll slide to NBA season starts tomorrow. We'll talk a little bit more on that next week and the weeks upcoming. We got months and months and months of basketball. I can pretend I care about basketball again, so that'll be fun.
Man.
So college football. Give me some. How'd you guys
Brian,
fare last week and what's
Brian
happening?
finally lost a pick because he based it purely on hate for Miami. Not that it was any stats behind it. It was just hate for Miami.
I feel so good that you started this segment off that way, because I was talking to Dave earlier today, and I told Dave that I rarely get picks wrong, and when I do, Jason damn sure makes sure to tell me as soon as humanly possible that it happened. And literally, you say NCAA football, and Jason's like, "Brian got a pick wrong." So. Thank you, sir.
Only because it was against Miami. That was it. That's all I remember.
But yes, you are right.
Did you watch the game?
I watched part of the game. I had some other things. So Saturday I was flying back from New York, and I wasn't able to see everything, but I did get to see the scores. And look, it was a very close game. It was actually very interesting, a high-scoring game. I still don't think Miami's the sixth best team in the country, but they did do what they needed to do, which is keep on beating the teams that are in front of them.
They got gashed defensively. Run plays, pass plays. I mean, these.
You can't tell me you thought that game was in the bank at any point.
No, at any point in time. No, I mean, I'm not talking about. So Glenn, when I'm talking about they got gashed, I'm talking about 15-yard run plays, 18-yard run plays, 25-yard pass plays. I'm talking about it was bad. They were getting gashed. And the thing is, the offense keeps bailing this team out every single week. They could score points.
52.
Yeah, no, they could score. They scored against Cal. They scored against Virginia Tech. They could score points, but the defense, nah.
Yeah. They gave up 342 yards, 4 touchdowns in the air.
Yeah, and guys were open. I mean, open. Yeah, it was bad.
If either team had a stop at any point in the second half, be a much different game.
Yeah, right. In the second half,
it was. Miami did get a couple stops early. That's why they only got 17 at the half. But anyways, it was like I said, it was an interesting game.
It was a game.
Congratulations to the Miami. I do not think that they proved that they are a top 6 team when you think of how the other teams that performed.
We'll talk about Texas later.
Yeah,
we'll talk about them later. You got any words about USC Maryland, or you want to skip that? No, I'm not trying to clown. I'm being serious. Yeah.
No. Look, I think we know what USC is, and I think the only thing that I want to say, maybe you have thoughts
29,
on this.
Maryland. Damn.
Is how soon before the USC coach gets affiliated with the Chicago Bears as an offensive coordinator. I don't think he's going to go and take the job given how they're performing this year.
Right.
Or assistant head coach or some role that he can go and coddle Caleb. But how soon do you think that happens? Because it seems obvious to me that they do not have they have the personnel. They're extraordinarily talented. When they run the ball, they play exceptionally well. But they are so into the idea that they can just throw everybody with Miller Moss, and when it doesn't work, this is the result. And Big Ten teams, aren't going to play that game. But anyways, point being, they don't look like they have anything for Big Ten teams from a style makes fight type of perspective. They don't have the style to play in the Big Ten. And I think we know what they are. I think they're a very, very talented team that's going to be able to win some games here and there, but they're not a primetime team. I don't think that they're an unrated team when you see some of the other teams that are at the bottom who don't have to play anybody. But, they are where they are, and I don't think it matters outside of the playoff teams. I don't care. They'll go to the Holiday Bowl in San Diego again, and that'll be that.
I'm not gonna lie. When it was 21-7, I was done watching. So it was 21-7 halftime. I just figured, okay, they're gonna beat Maryland. They'll beat Rutgers next week, and then they play after that. They play at Washington. That'll be the game I'll probably look forward to watching next. USC and Washington. And then I saw the final score, and I was shocked. I was like, I didn't even look at the highlights. I just saw they got outscored 22-7 in the second half. I don't know what happened, but I was shocked. I just thought they would beat Maryland, and it seemed like it looked good early, but I guess it didn't look good late. I don't really have anything about that game. But I know I took Texas and you took Georgia. You won that. Texas was shut out in the entire first half. What'd you think?
Well, it played out almost exactly like I thought it was going to. We were talking about this last week. And the problem is that the quarterback play was the quarterback's coming off of an injury. He'd been out for a while. He did not play well last week. And this is a really, really tough game to get right in when you're playing basically for the number one spot in the country. And I did not necessarily want to be right. I still think Texas is the best football team in the country.
You still think after that game?
Yes.
Okay, because I don't. Okay, go ahead.
They need to do one of two things. They either need Ewers to get right and get healthy, because at the beginning of the season, he was the highest rated quarterback in college football. If he gets to where he was last year and was supposed to be this year, they are. Or they need to go back to Arch Manning, in which with every game that he was in, they literally lit up every team they played. I felt like they should have stuck with him. He came in for a little while when Ewers was out, but Arch Manning I think is the better quarterback, but I understand why they're going to stick with him. They've got to do something, because by the time they get to the playoffs, and I still think that they're a playoff team, certainly.
Yeah.
If they are hitting on all cylinders, I think they can win it all. I don't think Georgia beat them in a way that means that there's no chance that a healthy Texas team, particularly the quarterback, could go against couldn't unseat them. But anyways, it was kind of exactly what I expected. It's a horrible game to try and get right. I imagine Sarkisian is second guessing himself on whether or not he should have held Ewers out for two more. They had the rivalry game the week before, and then this one, and then let them get right as they got a little bit past this, right? I mean, after this, they have Vanderbilt, Florida, Arkansas, and Kentucky. Ewers could win every single one of those games, eyes covered, before having a big game against Texas A&M. So it's unfortunate, but I don't really have any love for Georgia. I think they're kind of annoying, to be honest. But it just seemed like Texas was setting themselves up for failure this week.
Yeah, I was watching that game. I was like, your analysis on Georgia and Texas was right on that game. I never bet Texas because I just don't trust Steve Sarkisian. Of course, they're a playoff team. I would never bet on them to win the national championship. He always does something, or Texas always plays a game that's like a dud. And this one, there's no excuse for you not to score any points against Georgia in the first half. It's not that good of a Georgia team where you cannot score against them. And I think that's an indictment against Steve Sarkisian. But we'll see what happens later. They're still a good team. They're very well. I think they're very talented. But as far as this is concerning, not to score against Georgia though, in the entire or against anybody with all that talent. You have to score in the first half some points, and they were shut out. So, but you were right on this game though. I'll give you that one. Is there any other games you want to talk about? Because
the other game I was right about, Tennessee over Alabama.
No, you picked Alabama.
No, I took Tennessee.
I don't know. I'm pretty sure you took Alabama.
Tennessee. They're
Okay,
the only
all
10
right.
I see.
Because I took 10. I know I took Tennessee, and you took
I thought
Alabama
we
that
both
game.
did.
Okay, I took Tennessee. I knew
Yeah,
that.
I don't think
And-
we were on the opposite side of it.
Yeah.
I know I picked Tennessee, but yeah, Alabama, I don't think they're anything anymore.
Stuck. Am I stuck?
No, you got
You
the
were. You're back.
Okay, good. Yeah, Tennessee. I took Tennessee strictly because Nick Saban is not there. Nick Saban kind of owned Tennessee. I'm not saying that Caleb DeBoer is a bad coach. He's not, but he's running a different scheme, and I personally don't think he has the correct players to actually run the type of scheme like that. Penix offense he ran with Washington is totally different. The players are different than what he has right now in Alabama. So I thought Tennessee had a chance in this game, and they ended up pulling it out. Brian, did you watch any of it?
I did not watch any of this game. I just saw the results, but I will tell you that, Alabama being a top 10 team was purely on their legacy. That's why they're there. That's why they're going to continue to lose games against top 10 and 15. I think they're a tweener top 15 team, from a talent perspective and coaching perspective. And that's where they sit. So, I won't be surprised if they win a game here and there against 16, 17, 18 type team. I also won't be surprised if they lose to another one. As a matter of fact, I think this week's game, so they're going to get smoked by LSU, but I think this week's game for them against Missouri, where it's the 21 seed versus a 15 seed, is going to be a much more interesting game than most of these other ones.
Okay. Any others you want to look at?
No, I don't think so. I don't think there were any other like big matchups. It was a lot of kind of one-sided. Illinois beat the pants off of Michigan. Yeah. But other than that, I don't think
Illinois was favored in that game too, which I don't think has happened in years. They were favored by 2 when I saw. But yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh man. Oh, I did. Oh guys, I meant to send you my bet. I did something. I bet on a team I didn't know had a football team in college. I bet on Princeton.
Princeton Princeton. Princeton's had good football teams.
I never knew basketball teams.
I remember the basketball. I never knew they had football. They were playing against Brown, and it was Princeton minus 2.5. I still have the picture. I bet $211 on that game. They won the game. Princeton's 1-4, and Brown is 2-3. And I told somebody, it's like, why the hell you bet on Princeton? I said, I looked at their schedule. They played against really good defenses, and Brown didn't. And I put $200 on Princeton.
Do your betting slips have an 800 number on them? Because when you start betting on Princeton, you might want to call it.
And that's why I told you guys. I'm like, am I a degenerate? I just bet on Princeton, but it was a good bet.
I'm just saying, when you start betting, you don't know that the team, the school has
I didn't even know they had a
team,
football
and you're just like, I'm feeling Princeton right now.
The problem is that when they win, though, because you like, see, I know what I'm doing. And
Oh yeah. The worst thing that happened to him, because now he's going to be like, what is Oklahoma School for the Blind, Deaf, and like Oklahoma they have a chance.
He's looking at the schedule.
Oh man!
Wow.
Real talk. Okay. Yeah, I didn't know they had a football team, but yeah. Going into next week, Brian, what games you? What games
I was gonna say who y'all got? What y'all looking at as far as this week ahead?
Let's see. I mean, the only
you mentioned
really
LSU.
big ranked teams are Notre Dame versus Navy. I think Notre Dame's going to beat them. I don't think that's much of it. Oregon versus Illinois, coming off their first their big win against Michigan.
Oregon versus Illinois. Oh, here it is. Oh, okay. They're at Oregon. I would take Illinois plus 21.5. I would take Oregon 21. To win, but I'll take that 21.5.
Damn.
This is what happens when you have Big 10 football now with the Oregon, because again, styles make fights. And watching Big 10 versus Pac-12 football week in and week out is going to be real interesting for these first couple seasons as both teams try to figure it out. Yeah. All right. For fun, I will take Oregon. I think Oregon is
to cover the 21.
Yeah.
So let's go a shot on this one. Yeah, 21. Let's go on a shot. Let's take a shot on this one.
All right.
We'll do that. Okay. Yeah, I'm taking Illinois only because in the 21.5. Only because Oregon beat Ohio State. Good win. They went to Purdue, like we both thought, handled business, covered the spread. Purdue is just not a very good. I think Purdue is the worst of all the power of conferences. They're the worst team. They're terrible. I wouldn't say it's a lackluster victory, but Oregon did what they had to do. I think Illinois is going to come out with something to prove, and I just don't think that Oregon's going to take Illinois all that seriously to where they will win the game, but I don't think it'll be by more than 21.5, but we'll see.
I think that they're going to play computer football, and they know that this is the last ranked game that they have this season before the computers get involved. And I think that they're going to play as hard as they can. And if they have the ability to, I'm not saying that they run up the score, because that's what Oregon likes to do.
Yeah. Okay. Good point. Any others on here that you like?
Wake Forest and Stanford. Wow.
What we got? Missouri and Alabama is the game that we were just talking about. Alabama's favored by 13.5.
So Alabama must be at home.
Yes.
Against Missouri. Missouri is
21 ranked. They're 6-1. They have a better record than Alabama in the SEC.
Yeah, but Missouri is not that talented. They're okay. I would take Alabama to win and cover that game. I just don't like Missouri like that. I just don't.
I'm going to take Missouri, not because I think Alabama is not going to win this game. I think they will. I think that 13.5 points in an SEC battle against a team that has a better record with their new setup is a lot. So I will, if you ask me, money line, I would take Alabama to win this game by less than 13.5 points.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Cool. Any others? Or you want to get to a pick?
No. What do we got? What do you got? Oh wait. Texas plays Vanderbilt. I mean, there's a school. Did you know that Vanderbilt had a top 25?
I do. I didn't know they were top 25.
That's cool. A top 20. They're 25th.
They're the 25th ranked. Yeah, I didn't know that. I would never take Vanderbilt over Texas. I wouldn't take Vanderbilt over pretty much anybody that's a blue blood. I would take Texas in this game.
They're 2-1 in the SEC, which is the same record, or basically the same record as Illinois. Yeah. Or it's not Illinois, Missouri.
Yeah. Who did Vandy beat earlier this year?
Who Vanderbilt beat?
They beat somebody.
Because Vanderbilt
they beat Alabama.
Okay, that's what it was.
Yeah, they beat Alabama. Right.
Yep.
Yeah, I think even Vanderbilt was shocked on that one. Yeah.
The Commodores.
Yeah,
the Temptations.
Anyways. Yeah. I'm going to take Vanderbilt again, just because they still haven't figured out the quarterback situation. If again, it's really early. We're doing this on Monday.
Right.
If Ewers plays the entire game, Vanderbilt will at least beat the spread.
Okay. I will go with Texas. I just think they're just way too talented. Vanderbilt is just not really a very talented team.
And then LSU, Texas A&M. That's the 8th seed versus a 14th.
What's the spread?
Frank. Texas A&M, the lower seed, -2.5.
Yeah, I'll take LSU. Yeah, give me LSU on that one. Yeah, I'll take that.
Give me LSU as well.
Yeah, I'll take that.
See, and you got Miami's playing Florida State.
This is a game Miami would lose. I'm telling you right now, they would lose to Florida State. I'm not saying they will, but they could. I'm not betting
Miami
this
is
game.
favored by 21 points, so I take it you'll take Florida State.
I am not betting this game. I am not. They always play close, no matter what the spread is. It's always usually under 7 or under 7 or whatever.
Right.
But I wouldn't bet Miami in this game. I would take Florida State on the spread if I were betting.
Proximity rivalry type.
Yeah. Then the players know each other from high school. They all play on the same damn teams. Doesn't really matter what their ranking is. But this is a game Miami could lose. Florida State has everything to gain this game. Miami really doesn't. But I'll take Miami to win, but I think Florida State to cover.
Yeah, I think Miami's most certainly going to win. I think the only question is whether or not. I mean, Florida State has one win this season. I don't care who you way back when. When the only win you have is against Cal.
It was by 1 point, I believe, too, at home. Yeah.
It was a squeaker. No, it was 14 to 9, but it was
14-9.
one score.
Okay.
But yeah, I would actually say that Miami's going to run up the score on this one too, and probably take the spread. And that's weird for me to be on the opposite side of you in a Miami game, and I don't think anything above them. I just think Florida State looks awful.
It's all about the matchup.
Cal is not a good team. They are a very bad team, and that's the only way that Florida State could find a way to muster.
Yeah, all good.
All right.
I'll start with the first pick. I think I've been undefeated so far. Last week I had James.
Give it to
I had James Madison and Georgia Southern. I put that out on right after our podcast. I think I put that pick out. That one easily under 59. It was 28-14. This week, I just had it on my damn phone. It was 6. Oh, here it is. New Mexico is at Colorado State. The over under 65. I'm taking the under in this game. I don't expect New Mexico to score a lot of points in this game. Colorado State can score a little bit, but this line should be in the 50s and it's 65. So I will take the under 65 in this game. I will put that on Peerless One Sports tomorrow. Brian, who you got?
Picks.
Ohio State minus 25.5.
Against?
They're going to beat the pants off Nebraska.
Oh, Nebraska. Okay. All right. There it is. That's the game I want to watch too. There it is. Yep.
All right, guys. I like it. So let's slide to the league then. If y'all are good there, we'll go to the NFL. Let's run it down.
Yeah, I'm gonna start my team first. Yeah. So look here. I have no faith we will ever beat the Chiefs as long as Andy Reid, Steve Spagnuolo, and Patrick Mahomes. Actually, as long as Patrick Mahomes is over there, it's just not good. It doesn't really matter. This series starting to remind me of when Russell Wilson and Pete Carroll were at Seattle, because he was like 17 or 18-4 against the 49ers. And right now, Kyle Shanahan is 0-5 against Spagnuolo. I'm not going to really say Andy Reid. It's Spagnuolo. 0-5 against him. I also looked up. He's 0-3 against Brian Flores, and he's 1-8 against Jim Schwartz. And they all run similar schemes. So he really hasn't figured out how to beat their schemes. Just from watching the game aesthetically, the offense seemed a little bit predictable to me. Not really any creativity. And to me, it looks like Kyle Shanahan was coaching not to lose. He's done that against KC before, and he's lost every single time. I thought he was going to sort of open it up, probably saw, a little more movement, jet sweeps, all this other kind of stuff to get other guys involved, trying to throw Kansas City off. It doesn't happen.
Not what he does.
Yeah. No, it's just he's very rigid. Neither team really has receivers that can beat man coverage, but the difference is, like I said before, Andy Reid will, if something's not working, he will change immediately. He will pivot. Kyle Shanahan is very reluctant to do that. He wants to stay with his game plan, and he will only pivot at the last possible second, whereas Reid will experiment all game until something works. And he ended up scheming guys open, and Kyle Shanahan really couldn't. It's I don't think this is a great Kansas City team, but they hang around and they do enough to win games. I really don't think Mahomes is playing great this year, but he's doing enough. He's doing enough to win these games. And if anybody knows about anything about gambling or betting, you know that when Mahomes is an underdog, he's 12-1. So that's almost like free money when Mahomes is an underdog, and he was underdog in this game by 1.5, 2 points, and he ended up winning again. So Kansas City is just a better team. I don't know if Kyle Shanahan will ever figure it out. Then I looked at some other stat where Kyle Shanahan is 0-40 when trailing, I think, by a certain amount of points in the fourth quarter, which is astounding because that goes through many, many quarterbacks. He's at 0-40. I forgot exactly what it was. I might look it up later. But I bet the under in this game because I really didn't expect the 49ers to score that many points, to be perfectly honest with you. So I bet the under 47. Barely made it by a point. But they're just a better team, and that's pretty much it. And Ayuk got hurt, so this season is not really going. I said
hurt, bro.
Yeah, I said we would incur losses, and I thought that I've always said last year was a year they should have won because when you play a physical style like the 49ers do, that's not a long Super Bowl window. That Super Bowl window is short because you get hurt and you play so physical, you're not going to last too long. And it looks like maybe, the time has come, for this team.
How many chances did they want?
We had a lot of chances. Yeah, had a lot of chances. Yeah. And that window was, wide enough for them to win at least one. And, it didn't happen. It looks like things are crumbling. It looks like things are crumbling right now, but, we'll see the rest of the season. But Brian, Glenn, y'all watch this game?
I did.
I most definitely did.
I was on the golf course though so I was seeing y'all come out just while my team was doing the same.
Obviously with my household rooting interest these days.
That's funny.
This was a very big game in the house. I want to recognize that the entirety of your time while you were talking, I did not interrupt you or say a thing. So here I go.
Oh, I won't say nothing.
Kansas City, you hit the nail on the head. They don't look great. I mean, there's something up with Mahomes and his ability to just throw the ball. Most of his passes are like he's flinging them, he's shuffle passing them. He's, throwing wobble balls. I don't know I'm not saying he's hurt, but there's just something that's not right with him this season. As Glenn mentioned, he is leading the league in interceptions. But in this game, He threw for 154 yards and only 2 interceptions and no touchdowns. I mean, that is not Mahomes-esque, except for those 154 yards was when he would hit passes at the perfect time when they needed a 7-yard out to stop the first down and stop the clock. He delivered it every single time. If he needed to scramble, he delivered it. He was second in rushing with 39 yards and 1 touchdown. Some people I've been talking to have said that they think that Kansas City is the best team in football with no one a close second. And I think they are the best team in football with everybody being a close second. I think the reality of it is that when you keep swinging at a team that's winning, this way, someone's going to land that punch. I don't know who I win. And they could keep winning all the way into the playoffs, but only one team needs to figure out how to take advantage of these absolutely horrific Kansas City Mahomes experiments. And that's it. That's the season. That's the part about football. They're not building a team that shows resiliency. On the other side, it is really, really fun to watch Kareem Hunt run again. I mean, he looks very, very good. He runs hard. He hits holes. He looks energized. If he can, I don't know what they do when Pacheco comes back, but they certainly want to keep Hunt on this team. He seems happy at home. On the other side, the San Francisco season is over, not because of anything other than they've just got too many entries in key places to people who are too important. I mean, Debo's in the hospital right now, I believe.
Yeah, I hope he's all right, with pneumonia.
Ayuk is done for the season, if not longer, to be honest. This could be a kind of a Nick Chubb type injury where he'll be into the middle of next season before he comes back. And the pieces that have made this team, the talent that has made this team so scary, are up on the rack. So all of that is the reason why I don't think that there's going to be much more conversation about a Super Bowl run for the San Francisco 49ers. Yeah. I would not be myself if I did not point out that Brock Purdy threw for 212 yards, 3 interceptions, a 13.4 QBR, and a 36.7 quarterback rating. And as we have all said, and you've even agreed to, Coop, he throws interceptions at the absolute worst time.
Yeah.
This game was not over when he threw that end zone interception. He
got popped again.
Huh?
He got popped again.
He got popped, but guess what?
Is terrible.
He's going to be paid an awful lot of money in the future to understand where the pressure is coming from and know that whether or not he can get the ball off or not get the ball off and take that sack. Because a sack didn't end the game. An interception did. Yeah. And he needed to just tuck that one and take it. And he did not do it. And he threw a pick. And that was a wrap. There's nothing Purdy could do going forward with the people that he has. I mean, he's already using Mason, who's playing out of his mind, instead of McCaffrey. He's got Debo on the rack. He's got Ayuk on the rack. What's his name didn't play. Jennings didn't play this past week.
Greenlaw still out.
The kicker. This is not a negative comment about the GM, the team, or the organization, because they have put together a lot of depth and talent on that team. It's just ran out. It's just, you can only sustain so much. But again, Purdy's not that guy.
They said that the healthiest receiver for the Niners was shot 2 months ago.
Yeah, Ricky Purcell.
That's cold.
Yeah, you got McCaffrey, Ayuk, Jennings, Debo. You got Lyman, Feliciano out. You got Greenlaw out. You got the kicker out. You got Stilla Fungus out. You got Hargrave, who they gave a lot of money to. He's out. You got the corner re-signed. He's out. I mean, it's bad. Yeah. And he does. I'm glad you brought that up about that pick. And the reason why I'm glad you brought that up, Brian, because I hope Kyle Shanahan finally realizes, because he's pretty much disregarded the offensive line. It's just Trent Williams and nobody's after that. It's like, you would think, if you're going to pay Purdy all this money next year, which they are, they're going to break him off, you're going to have to protect them. I mean, do something. Yeah. Get rid of some of these, a high-priced player, and get a couple of linemen for $9 million each or something that can help protect. Because there's no use in having a quarter. Because then you're going to have that Houston situation with David Carr, where you have this quarterback and then you just don't protect them. You put all your money in other places and you just can't do that. You're going to have to protect them. So I'm glad that you pointed that out. And then I just found that stat. This is actually amazing. The 49ers are 0-40 when trailing by 8+ points at any point in the fourth quarter under Kyle Shanahan, including the playoffs. They are the only team in NFL without a win in that scenario during that span. That's crazy. That's an indictment on Shanahan.
It's an indictment on Shanahan, but also, great quarterbacks can lead comebacks.
Not if being held back though. Not if you're being held back. I've seen some good quarterbacks with bad coaches. Oh, go ahead.
George Kittle had been written off as the best tight end for a while, and even Travis Kelce said, "You don't do that. He's still the best. He's still the best tight end." And he included himself. He said it has been fun to watch him play the way that he's playing. I mean, the game was falling apart around him, and Kittle was doing everything he could with his 6 receptions for 92 yards. But his blocking, I mean, he really was a big part of why the game didn't get crazy out of hand until late. And so, the one thing I will say is Kittle looks outstanding. I guess I'll add one more. They need to get rid of one of these wide receivers. They've proven that they can find depth and talent at wide receiver. So you do not have to continue to give every single one of them that proves that they're talented top money. Because if you believe in your scouting program, if you believe in your ability to draft talent, you can let at least one of these guys go. And it's going to be hard with Ayuk now that he's out.
I've always said Debo.
And so, I guess you have consistently.
Always said.
But they've got to let one of them go, and they need to spend that money on exactly what you said, and that is an offensive line.
Before we move on, good point about Kittle, but I've always known by his style, it doesn't last long. Kelsey's style lasts long because it's more finesse. Kittle is more physical, it's more power. Kittle,
100%.
When he drops, Kittle's gonna really drop because of that physical style of play. It always, it's gonna get you.
Got his spread.
Yeah, he's gonna get hurt at some point again. I mean, it's not like he hasn't been hurt before.
Right.
But it's just fun to watch. I mean, he plays
definitely.
Football like you want.
Like you should be played.
Play
Yes, I agree. Totally agree.
All right. So let's slide to the last team to beat the Kansas City Chiefs. The Oakland Raiders of Los Angeles and Las Vegas, who lost to the LA Rams. I'm gonna shout out Mom, who said she's not calling them Gardner Minshew no more. She's calling them Gardner Must Go.
Oh no, that's funny. That's funny.
So that's
you all about to see a whole lot more of them.
So I don't know. When I saw who we signed today, I couldn't wait to talk to Coop about that. Did you see that, Coop?
Who'd y'all sign?
Desmond Ridder.
Okay. Don't play him.
So
don't play him.
There was nobody else.
Oh man.
I mean, mom went through. I talked to mom today. She went through every possible option. She even said Bryce Young. She was like, "Give me anybody." But
you couldn't get Sam Howell. Nobody, huh?
As I was talking to him, so they signed Desmond Ridder. I mean, he's a backup. You have to have 2 quarterbacks on the roster. This team, I mean, the injuries killed us too, and we're not a team that has a ton of depth that can bounce back from a whole bunch of injuries. So losing Christian Wilkins and Marcus Epps and all those guys on the defense, then losing your number 1 to a trade, then the other who would step into number 1 to an injury, Jacoby Myers, Zamir White, he goes down the list. We don't have the type of team that could sustain that. The defense actually played pretty well. Stafford had 154 yards, 1 pick. Minshew had 154 yards, 3 picks.
He was watching Brock Purdy. They was trying to compete.
Pretty close
it was bad. And they were, it really was. And they were both games happening at the same time. I was on the golf course playing bogey golf, so I wasn't too upset. It was a beautiful day in San Ho. So yeah, that's what happened there. But yeah, it's bad for us. I think, hopefully my thing is I'm hoping they don't do anything rash. Don't try and fire any coaches or anything like that. Nobody's going to win with this current roster as it's constructed with all these injuries. And then hopefully we can get a quarterback next year. So like I said, Coop, we could probably start talking about draft because both our seasons are
funny. Well, you can start watching college like I've been telling you.
Yeah.
Okay, you can start watching college.
Yeah, you have said that.
I don't really have much to say about this. I know the Rams had a lot of injuries on that team, to be perfectly honest with you, but they have Matt Stafford. that's pretty much the difference in this game. And
The
they
running
ended
was
up
the
they ended
difference,
up
man.
winning.
We bottled Stafford up pretty much. It was the running game.
They ran okay. I see Kyrie Williams had 21. That was only averaging 3.6 yards a carry,
2
but
TDs.
yeah, oh yeah,
They was you know how you burn a defense down and then you can get longer plays at the end.
yeah.
And that's kind of what happened. So it was bad.
I'm not even going to act like I even watched this game with the
Yeah, it
Rams
wasn't.
injuries and the Raiders offensive challenges. I didn't even bother even looking at this game.
Yeah, I was glad I was playing golf.
Yeah.
Be any thoughts before we go to the Vikes?
I mean, the only team with a winning record here. Go ahead.
Yeah, no. The only thing I'll say is Brock Bowers does not play the tight end position like you want people to play, but damn, he's good at it. I mean, I don't know if he blocked air, but he gets out on those routes.
Yeah, he had
he's
a
like
few blocks,
Kelsey.
but
He's like Kelsey.
Blocks. So what about let's slide to these Vikes, man. Vikings and Lions, man. Good game, but barely lose it.
You know, the number of people who text me or called me or I talked to in conversations today who all said, man, that was an amazing game. I'd love to watch that game rolled out 5-10 more times. I'm like, I wouldn't. Like that is not what I want to do with my weekends. I do believe that if they had played that game 5 times, you get 5 different results. But ultimately, it didn't go our way. Here's the thing. I have known that the Vikings are not as good as their undefeated record suggested for the entirety of this season. I've said it. I've never been able to get to the point where I'm like, I just believe. But I'm believing that they're a strong team that plays really well. I think Detroit might be, when healthy, I mean, they just lost Aiden Hutchinson.
That's huge.
The best team in the NFC.
Yeah.
The way that they beat teams, the way that they handle themselves, they're strong, they're resilient, and we hung with them and could have beat them. If not, a couple, kicks missed and 2-point conversions missed, and we only lost to them by 2. So I will say that I inched forward in my belief of the Vikings in a loss to the Detroit Lions because I think the Detroit Lions are that good.
Yeah.
Here's the problem. I need Sam Darnold to I need the team to open up the Sam Darnold deep ball more than they have these last 3 weeks. Beginning of the season, where they didn't have expectations, they were airing it out. And it was wonderful to watch Justin Jefferson run underneath these. These last couple of weeks, they've tried to strategize and get more, more technical and run more in routes and put players into the situation. Instead of what would work out better is do what got you here. Sure. And what got them there was playing football like they were supposed to be the lowest ranked team in the NFC North and just go after it. Aaron Jones looks outstanding.
Yeah, he had a big
game. He is a huge, huge deal. And I was really, really worried. We talked about it, about him and his ability to play this week. But he came out and almost immediately showed that he had what it took. That not only did the run that ended in a touchdown look great from just watching him get outside and score the touchdown, but then he jumped into a very high stadium to try to do kind of the Lambeau leap in Viking Stadium, which was at least a 10-foot wall. So, he looked healthy. Justin Jefferson is Justin Jefferson. I don't think anybody can stop that man other than holding and penalties. Almost every time he didn't catch the ball, it was related to some type of extra hands that got overlooked. Ivan Pace Jr.'s fumble recovery gave you a little bit of faith that the defense was awake because when you let Detroit Lions block 31 points on you, it was tough. Now I'll talk about Jared Goff. That dude is legit. All right, Dredd. I don't think Dredd listens to us on a regular basis, but if you listen to us, you get to hear me say Jared Goff is legit. I don't think this is the same guy that left the Rams, but I think it's the same talent. And what the coach and the team and the change of scenery has done is give him the confidence, and confidence and moxie goes places. Jared Goff is probably one of the scariest quarterbacks in the NFL right now. I'm not saying he's the best. I didn't say that. Everyone, let's be clear. No, with the scariest quarterbacks in the NFL, there is not a situation that he does not believe he can come back from, and that makes a lot of the difference. Amon-Ra St. Brown is also a really good receiver. Jason, I don't know if you had anything you wanted to add.
Yeah. So I did pick Minnesota when we did the podcast last week. I make my final picks for my point spread league late Saturday night, and I end up switching to Detroit in my point spread league, and here's why. This is you alluded to a little bit already. This is not the same Detroit team. They are probably the best team in the NFC, definitely. They have talent everywhere, and they have the number one offensive line in football, and that can take you a lot of places. I remember when they beat Green Bay, because I remember I said it before the season started that they were going to beat Green Bay that year, and they did. They played Kansas City the first game of the year last year, and I think they beat them or probably took them to maybe final seconds or whatever. They played San Francisco in the playoffs, and they could have beat the 49ers. They could have beat us. They played Dallas and beat the hell out of them in Dallas. All these are road games. Detroit usually is a forever road loser. They're going on the road and beating teams. So now they're going to Minnesota, which is another hostile environment, not an easy place to play. You can ask 49ers that. They ain't won since the 90s. So they went to Detroit, and went to Minnesota. I'm sorry. And the reason why I took them is because, yes, they're a very good road team, but if I took Minnesota, I would have to bet on Sam Darnold, and I can't bet on Sam Darnold in this particular situation. Not saying he's terrible this year, but just in this situation, he hasn't really played in any big games, whereas Detroit has played in a few. They played in one last week, and they performed. And so I was kind of going by recent performance over the last couple of years of playing in big games on the road, Detroit, whereas Sam Darnold really hasn't been in this situation. They still could have won the game. I'm not saying, that's a totally right opinion, but Detroit has proven that they can go on the road and play with anybody, and they've done it, and they won this game. This wasn't an easy game.
The only thing I would challenge there is the 49ers were the Super Bowl runners up and a Super Bowl favorite this year. They beat them. That was a big game. They beat the Texans the next week with C.J. Stroud and also winning team. They beat the Green Bay Packers, who are the worst team in football right now because they're the bottom of the NFC North right now. And then they went across the pond and beat the Jets. Not saying the Jets are good, but going across the pond, it's not not the best situation for a home. What was supposed to be a home game. So I don't know, but the thing that I came away with, Jason, because you're a bettor, and sometimes Vegas is eerie. 1.5 points. They put that 1.5 points, and it was a 2. Right. It was a 2-point game.
Yeah, real talk. Yeah.
Vegas does some eerie things.
Yeah, I had Green Bay money line. That was a 2.5 point spread. They won by 2. So yeah, real talk. But yeah, you gotta give props to Detroit. Detroit's probably the best team in the NFC. If I had to pick one, it would be them right now. They're
agreed.
And now about Goff, it's almost like the Alex Smith situation from Frisco to Kansas City. I think Goff is the same player, but he has a really good running game. You gave him Todd Gurley back then, he was killing it. He got Gibbs and the other guy now. He's killing it.
Montgomery.
You give Jared Goff those situations, and I also agree with you that I think Dan Campbell and Ben Johnson have given him a lot more confidence than he had when he was with the Rams. And confidence can go a long way.
Gibbs and Montgomery are scary good.
Yeah, they're very good. So
when you can ride a hot hand and both of them are 1A and 1B type players on almost every team in the NFL.
Yep.
This week, I think it was 2 weeks ago, it was Montgomery. This week it's Gibbs.
Yep.
Great.
So great situation. That's a good team. That's definitely a good team.
So you guys mentioned Green Bay. Green Bay and Houston play a tight game. Green Bay wins by 2. Quick thoughts on that game.
Well, we were on opposite sides. Brian took Houston, which I understand why. And I would have taken Houston too if they were playing at home. The only reason I took Green Bay, because they, to me, have the better overall team than Houston. I don't think Houston is there yet. Houston is not as good as they were last year. Statistically, they're still a good team. But I think Green Bay at home with that roster, I think not enough is said about Green Bay's roster. They have some players on that team, and they end up pulling out a victory. Stroud really didn't play well, but Jordan Love did this game, and Green Bay pulled it out.
Let's be clear. I won the pick because it was Green Bay favored by 3.5. This was another 2-point game.
Oh, yeah.
But anyways, look, these are two really good teams. I was just talking about that when I was talking about the Vikings, who were able to beat both of these teams. These are very, very solid football teams. Green Bay Love is clearly healthy. They're showing how they're developing this team, which they knew that they were going to have to develop into the season, which is why Love going down early was such a problem. But Dukes, Wicks, Kraft, Jacobs, Christian Watson, who kind of still gets to play football every once in a while. This is youthful talent, and so I'm not ever really rooting for Green Bay. I'm never rooting against them either. But they showed that they are a very good team in the NFC. And Houston, even in a loss, proved that they're still one of the better teams in the AFC. These are going to continue to be two teams that, most weeks are going to win. And when you get AFC versus NFC games, you just kind of enjoy the fireworks and hope that the show is good. And congratulations on Green Bay and being the victor.
Give me just your thoughts on New York Jets and the Pittsburgh Steelers based on all the stuff that was swinging around that one.
Oh, I was loving watching this game. Go ahead, Brian. You go first.
I think we texted about it.
Yeah, go ahead.
So here's the first thing. Devontae Adams, in a matter of 7 days, lost to the Steelers twice.
Yeah, well, both them teams ain't good. We both the same record. Every team he would have been on, right? That we thought of, the Steelers, the Saints, the Raiders, and the Jets, all are 2-5. But go ahead.
But here's the thing. I think we should. Well, let me start by getting the obvious out of the way. Rodgers is not that good anymore, and I said that at the beginning of the season. I said it before the season. Rodgers is not that good anymore. And the thing about him is that he has ended coaching careers because people want to believe that he's still that guy. This is not taking away from his career or saying that he wasn't a very good football player. I don't think greatness comes with one ring, but his career is his career, and he earned that. But he is not that guy anymore. And the biggest problem is, for me, is that his passing is so bad that they're no longer dropping extra people into coverage. They're stacking the box to stop Breece Hall, because Breece Hall gets loose. He is very good, and he proved that when he had a quarterback throw a ball. So that's on that side. On the Pittsburgh side, I think we may have spotted a problem. This is a team that was undefeated for the first 5 weeks, and then got a little sloppy
without throwing the ball.
And then people wanted Tomlin's head for putting Wilson in this week.
Just so stupid.
And Wilson went in there and looked like Seattle Russell Wilson, throwing moon balls and throwing it deep and making passes. What do you have? 264 yards and 2 touchdowns, no picks. They now have. Here's the thing. I think Fields is still the guy they signed at the end of the season. I've seen some of these conspiracies going around that the real reason that Tomlin benched him is because of the trade modifiers that happen if he played for so much of the season. I still think their future is in Fields, but this season, I think you might have a problem with George Pickens and Wilson.
Yeah, much like I said about C.J. Stroud, not last week when the throws he was making against New England, Russell Wilson was making some throws against the Jets, and they were accurate. They were on time. I mean, he made some good throws. It was Pickens looks like he's alive again every play. It looked to me the Pittsburgh offense had life to them. Before it was just regular, going through the motion with there, but it looks like they had some pep in their step, a little perk, motivation. I took Pittsburgh in this game. Our point spread league. I have no idea why the Jets were favored on the road in Pittsburgh, but I'm with you. Aaron Rodgers definitely isn't that person. Him and Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams remind me of when Brooklyn got Kevin Garnett and Paul Pierce.
I saw this today.
Yeah, I mean,
that's a meme.
Oh, you saw that? Yeah, it's like
meme
that.
Today, yeah.
We both knew that. We all knew that wasn't going to work, and we know that this isn't going to work. So it's a little bit too little, too late. But it was really good to see the Jets lose, though. I mean, because Aaron Rodgers pretty much got everything he wanted, and they still got blown out by Pittsburgh. And I don't think Pittsburgh scored 37 points in the game in a long, long time. So
I think Wilson throwing the ball makes a big difference there.
I didn't mind the Jets until Aaron Rodgers got there. I didn't really think much about him.
Nobody did.
But I'm not rocking with. I've never blocked with Aaron Rodgers, and he continues to prove it. By the way, his body language, his face, when terrible. He was the reason why that team lost. No one else. He is absolutely horrible. Yeah. And I hope people remember that when they're wondering if he's a first or second or third. I mean, he's going to get in the Hall of Fame.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
but let them wait. And let him have that same fizz face, nasty Graham for treating everyone the way he traded. Put him into year 3.
Rest in peace,
Make him wait. That's
real
hella
quick.
funny.
Last game because it happened tonight and Lamar went crazy. Baltimore Ravens, Tampa
Oh,
Bay
man.
Buccaneers. Hope their receivers are all right for the Bucs. But yeah, give me your quick
if
thoughts.
Lamar Jackson could throw a football, he could be as good as Brock Purdy.
Man,
through 5 TDs today.
There's a reason why he's 22-1, 24-1, whatever it is against the NFC. There's a reason. You can't. He's so unique. He's not Michael Vick. He's better than him. He's not Robert Griffin. He's way better than him. He's not Colin Kaepernick. He's way better than him. Lamar Jackson is he's just very unique. He's fun to watch. Like I said, I would definitely pay money to watch him play. And he torched Tampa Bay. He just torched them. He did his thing. This is what he does against teams. He torched them. 5 touchdowns. I mean, Tampa Bay is not a great team, but they're not bad either. And there was clearly a difference between him and Baker Mayfield. Once Baker Mayfield threw that pick in the end zone, that pretty much derailed their chances to even try to win this game. And the only reason, I'm not saying the only reason, 2 reasons I had interest. One is to watch Lamar Jackson, natural spotlight game. Why not watch him? The second reason is because I had Tampa Bay over 24 points, over 23.5 points on Peerless One Sports, and they won. So that was they came through in the fourth quarter from me. Yeah. But anyway, Brian, what do you think about the game?
I think that the pick wasn't what ended Tampa Bay's game. I think that Evans going down the play before when he pulled up in the end zone was the reason why they lost it. It threw off the entire offense. The very next play, he throws the pick in the end zone. And then things got worse from there. I understand that you never want to say die, but having Godwin in when there was no real way that they could have found a comeback given with just 1 minute and 54 seconds in, and ending his season on that is just horrible. But look, I think Tampa Bay's season just ended tonight. I don't care that they have a winning record. Yeah. Those injuries, you can't come back with Evans, just like you can't with Debo and Ayuk and all, McCaffrey and all those out. The same thing on the other side with all the injuries that they had in one night. And then on the other side, Lamar Jackson's a video game, and he's Michael Vick in Madden. Yeah. You just don't know what to do with them. And we talked about it in the offseason when the trade first happened. You add Derrick Henry, and you have a smash and dash from the most improbable of places, right? Usually smash and dash is Gibbs and Montgomery. Right, Montgomery runs to the middle and Gibbs runs to the outside. Yeah. They have a smash and dash with the quarterback who could run to the outside and throw it a couple yards and or throw it deep. Or you have Henry. When Henry got to the third quarter and started running harder and hitting people harder and looking for contact, you just knew this game was 100% over. 169 yards that they got from Derrick Henry. He didn't get any touchdowns because he kept on getting dragged down at like the 5, the 7, and the 10. But this was a clinic of a football game from a team that I think absolutely has a chance against Kansas City come playoff time. They play football like this. I don't know what.
No, nobody's beating them. They play like this.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough.
But a team can throw haymakers like Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry can. There's always a possibility.
All right, so let's kind of throw out all the games this week.
The first game is Thursday, Minnesota.
So we're starting Minnesota.
I'm trying to decide if I'm
Minnesota,
going to
LA.
Yep.
Go. Minnesota's -3.
Yeah, and -3 at the Rams. That's interesting because Rams only have 1 win. And
it's because of this. They just played a really hard game.
Yes.
They have to travel on short time.
Yep.
There's a little bit of a letdown with how that game obviously ended. And I think they think it's going to be impacted by the point spread. I'm going to take the Vikings because I believe that they are resilient enough to beat a Rams team that really doesn't have much to going for them. But I will tell you this, I can absolutely see how this could be a clunker of a game. I saw how it could have been a clunker of the game even if they had won against Detroit. But it is also difficult to come west, play a night game on a short schedule with a team that's doesn't have the best record in prime time. They still have to shake that. I know Cousins is gone, but he was part of the team. And so I still think they're going to win, but I won't be so shocked if this doesn't go our way.
For all the reasons you said is the reason why I take the Rams. That's exactly the same things I was going to say. It's not that I think the Rams are a better team, but I think on this short week, flying 2 time zones after that game against Detroit, I'm going to take the Rams, not just on the +3, but on the money line to actually win this game.
All right. And then what about, you got Philly and the Bengals playing? Bengals are 2.5.
Yeah, I got the under 47.5 in this game. I really don't think these two teams are going to score that many points. The point spread, you said 2.5.
Cincinnati -2.5. It's Cincinnati though. That's
Cincinnati. Yeah. Well, they're at home. Yeah, so I will take Cincinnati in this one. I'm thinking that the receivers, T. Higgins and what's the guy named Chase, whatever, Jamar Chase. I think they're going to take advantage of the Eagles secondary for a few plays and end up scoring points for Cincinnati. Cincinnati's defense really isn't that good, but I'm not sure if Jalen Hurts and the offense of the Eagles is good enough to actually take advantage of it. So I'm going to take the under, but take the Bengals to win and cover. What about you?
I keep on wanting Cincinnati to turn it around because I'm a Burrow fan and Chase fan, or at least I'm a fan of them together. But I think the Eagles win this one. If for one reason only, and that's Saquon Barkley. When that man gets going, he's a whole lot of hard to try and take on and deal with. As long as he's healthy, I'll put that caveat out there. I think the better team wins, and I think the Eagles win. And I also think it's pretty close. I think it's a field goal game, but probably a field goal in the other direction.
All right.
I got the under. I got one for you. So Brian, Glenn, Bills at Seattle.
Yeah,
it's Bills -3. This is a good matchup. I know who I'm taking. Brian, who you got? Bills -3 on the road at Seattle.
Yeah, that was gonna be my next one. Same page.
Wow,
I know how you feel about Josh Allen. Yeah, it's good. Yeah.
Well, I think Josh Allen is one of the few quarterbacks that can win games when he has he's that good. Like the things that I always say that some other quarterbacks can't do, I think Josh Allen can do.
Right.
But I also think that he's got a new toy. I'm gonna take the Bills.
Me too. I am taking the Bills to beat Seattle in Seattle. I think Seattle's getting a little bit too much love because they're at home, but this is a different Seattle team. I think Buffalo wins this game by at least a touchdown. Yeah, I got the Bills too.
All right.
I thought you were gonna take Seattle.
Raiders at Chiefs at Raiders. It's actually, I was going to say Chiefs win by 10. That's actually what the line is. So, yeah.
Ooh, the Chiefs are at the Raiders. Brian, who you got in this one?
I really, really, really want to pick the Raiders again with the spread.
Yeah, me too.
Because the Chiefs just do not do enough to impress me.
We're at that team from last year, though. Too much defense. The
cupboard
injury.
Is bare.
Yes.
For Raiders right now. So I'm going to take the Chiefs and give up the 10.
That's the only reason I'm taking the Chiefs. Yeah, I just think the Raiders are really offensively challenged, and to go against the Chiefs team, injuries. It's not good. I would take the Chiefs too.
Game. Chicago Bears at Commanders. Bears are -2.5
on the road.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wow, the Bears are favored on the road.
That's because of Daniels, right? Daniels is out.
Jay Daniels is hurt.
Oh, that's right. He got hurt. Okay, I'll take the Bears.
Mariota looked good though.
Yeah, I'll take the Bears. Because especially against Washington's defense. Washington's defense is really not good. People are not talking about it, but their defense isn't good.
They're not.
Yeah, I got the Bears. Who you got, Brian?
So this is why doing this so early, right? Jaden Daniels could possibly play. It's a rib injury, I believe. And if he plays, I absolutely think the Commanders will win. But given what we know right now, this line will shift. If they confirm that Daniels is going to play, I think this line will shift significantly.
Do you know how it started, Brian? This line started at the Cadets -1.5. That's the start. And now went to 2.5 Bears way. So it could go back the other way.
That's because I'm going to guess that they think that Jaden Daniels is not going to play this week. The interesting portion of this is this was supposed to be a huge, huge game between Jaden Daniels and Caleb Williams.
Yep.
I think Jaden Daniels has proven he's the better quarterback, even though Caleb has played well. Yep.
Really?
Yeah, good.
I think Caleb is runaway rookie of the year.
Which one you think played better, Jaden or Caleb?
Jaden is better.
Oh, I think Caleb is better. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I think
we
Jaden's
gotta
better.
see. He's done more.
I think Caleb has come back strong, but at the beginning of that season, it was all Jaden all day. And I like Jaden's approach. He gets there before Amy does. But anyways, given what we know right now, I will say that the Bears will find a way to win this game.
All right, last game, Dallas and the Niners, man. The Niners are -5.
Yeah, and that's the thing that's kind of scary. I'm looking at 4.5 right here. Knowing all these injuries and knowing everything that's went down to 49ers, they're still fair by 4.5, and this line has not
tells
moved.
You how bad Vegas thinks the Cowboys are.
Exactly.
That's all that line tells me.
Right, exactly, because this line has not moved. It's still -4.5. So for that reason only, the line hasn't moved, and professional bettors hasn't jumped on this on the Cowboys side. I would take the 49ers. That's the only reason.
Yeah, this is a conundrum. I would not spend a penny betting on this game. I would just watch and let it happen.
Yeah.
But making a pool pick, I don't want to pick either of these damn teams.
I get you. I'm with you.
But I will take the 49ers. This, like we just said, this line tells me that Vegas has absolutely zero confidence in Dak Prescott and the Cowboys. Like less than nothing. They do not think they could beat the bad news Bears on a Tuesday. Right. So I'm gonna go
all
with
the injuries everybody knows about, and it's still -4.5. Yeah, seriously, that's crazy.
So that's your rundown for the show. Last couple segments, hogwash, and then minute to win it. So I do not have a hogwash today beyond. I mean, not politically, you guys, whatever, vote, whatever, just vote. But these Trump ads have been super weird, and that's hogwash to me. Everyone I've seen has been about inmates and transgender surgeries, and that's whatever your political is cool. It's just interesting to me that I haven't seen anything about policy. I haven't seen anything about Israel. I haven't seen anything about money. I haven't seen anything about anything else but transgender inmates. So whatever that means. And then also Antonio Brown and Le'Veon Bell and Amber Rose and a cacophony of coons. So go ahead.
I was going to leave it alone. The transgender commercial that they talk about how Kamala funded it. She was an attorney general. She had absolutely no control over finances when that happened.
So weird to me.
And then the other one that they're showing is this Bidenomics one, Biden economics, where they kind of talk about, this is Biden economics, blah, 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 blah. And the black woman who is quoted on that is suing the Trump campaign because they're using her words against Kamala, which, her son was killed in a gun a gun incident, and it's horrible. But anyways, all right, Mike, you going next to me?
No, Brian, you go. I'll go after you. Go ahead.
All right. Yeah. So I have got two hogwashes. I'll make them quick. The officiating at the end of the 49ers game, it was they should have went and looked at the replay to see who punched who. They have the ability to go to New York. They have screens right there. If you're going to kick someone out of the game, you should damn well take a look at it, because Trent Williams got punched first. He responded. Yeah. If you decide you need to kick out Trent Williams, that's perfectly fine. He should take a partner with him. That was unfortunate. Yeah. The other one is more unfortunate because the Minnesota Lynx should have won the WNBA championship. And at the end of regulation, they called a foul that gave 2 free throws to the other team and sent it into overtime instead of the game being over. The coach, several of the players have said that they feel like a championship was stolen from them. If you look at the replay, there is very, very clearly no foul. And those people went and reviewed it and upheld it. Officiating and these types of reviews are there because you want to get it right. Yeah. And if you're not willing to get it right because you're going to ultimately impact the game in a way that favors one team like the Lynx, it's just wrong. I know what they thought. They thought, we could throw it into overtime and the best team will win. That's not what happened there. The better team didn't foul and lost the championship because the referees interjected. That's a bunch of hogwash.
Yeah, I actually had the under in that game, and I did see that. That was hogwash. I agree. In fact, I'm betting on WNBA is a different story. So my
that 800 number, bro.
Everybody watches women's sports.
Oh man, my hogwash is anybody out there that's betting on the New York Giants. I don't get it. Last week they played the Cincinnati Bengals. That spread went from Bengals -5 to Bengals -3.5 at game time. Of course, I jumped on the Bengals. They won and covered the spread. It's Burrow against Daniel Jones. The hell. This week, it's Philly. Philly was my biggest bet of the week on Peerless One Sports or dubclub.com. Either way, you can see either or. It was Philly -5 to begin the week. At game time, it was Philly -3 against the Giants. The Giants have never shown the ability to keep a game close against the Philadelphia Eagles the last few years. The fact it was only a 3-point spread was mind-boggling to me. Philadelphia won 28-3. They blew them out just like they always blow out the Giants. Daniel Jones against the Philadelphia Eagles has never been good. I don't know who's betting on the Giants, but you deserve to lose all the money that you're betting on them. It's crazy. That's my
Safe to
hogwash.
say you got Pittsburgh this week then?
No, I don't have that. No, I'm not saying that.
Hey,
No, I'm not saying that. Yeah, not
they
saying
got
that.
a minute to win it for me. As always, just thanks everybody for listening. Thank you, fellas, for let me do the show with you.
Yeah, same thing. I'm done with mine. Yep. Brian, you got a good minute to win it?
I was going to talk about Russ and how he's not done cooking, but no, I'm not. I'm just going to piggyback on what Glenn was talking about from the election perspective. It's gotten a little crazy. Watching every single sports game. So I got 6 TVs on. I'm watching every single one. And we used to play a game during March Madness where if you had 4 TVs or 3 TVs with the same commercial on, you'd take a shot. I could literally play the same game now with campaign ads, watching 6 TVs that are being broadcast from different parts of the countries on national spots. I know that this is kind of a buzzword for Democrats right now, but the Republican campaigns are weird. The things that they're doing are weird, and it's very, very telling that the conservative elite, people like Liz Cheney, are coming out in droves at this point in time in favor of Kamala. Let's just hope it's enough, because this is going to absolutely go down to the wire. It is a razor thin election in most of the key states. Anyone who tells you they know what's going to happen next is just lying to themselves and to you. But the one thing I know that we should all be thinking is we can't have the same guy who did a 20-minute speech about Arnold Palmer's junk to bring it back to sports related as our president. And he did that this weekend. And if you haven't seen that video, go take a look at it.
Yeah, nothing else to say.
Dude,
this is the Sports Counterpoints podcast. We will catch y'all next time. It's October 21st, 2024. Peace.